Whether you absolutely hate the second Pacific Rim movie or actually kinda like it, this new Gypsy Avenger figure is incredible. It's so good. Let's open it up, check it out, and of course do some toy photography. Well, many tend to forget, or maybe some people haven't forgotten, they've just chosen to selectively remove the sequel to Pacific Rim from their memory. I think some people just really would like to pretend that it doesn't exist, and you know what? I can't blame you. I wasn't a huge fan either. There's a couple things about Pacific Rim Uprising that are actually pretty great, and one of them is Gypsy Avenger. I think the design of Gypsy Avenger is pretty cool. It's really great. Obsidian Fury. Excuse you, pal. Obsidian Fury is also another really cool design. Other than that, I'm okay with forgetting the rest of the movie. Speaking of Gypsy Avenger, we've got a brand new action figure of Gypsy Avenger. So if you've watched my channel recently, I've actually done a couple videos on Pacific Rim, one of them being on this pretty new brand to me called Ling Jihun. Man, those figures that Ling Jihun made of these guys right here, dude, Venom. But anyway, Ling Jihun has been putting out Pacific Rim figures, and the Crimson Typhoon and Gypsy Danger were absolutely wild and impressive and just amazing. So I can only imagine this Gypsy Avenger over here is also really amazing. So I'm pretty excited to open this thing up, even though, yeah, it's from the sequel, and that's fine. We're Pacific Rim fans, right? And this is Venom is apparently a huge Pacific Rim fan. Would you get your butthole out of the video, please? Thank you. So if you want to pick this figure up, I recommend going to the link I've got in the description for calcustoy.com. I talk about Calcus all the time, especially when it comes to like monster related things, kaiju sized things, lots of Godzilla. All the Pacific Rim figures that are coming out lately, they've got it on Calcus, including that giant Gong Studios one that I did last week. So make sure Calcus is on your list when you're picking up figures like this. Plus, they've got the pre-order for the Ling Jihun leatherback Pacific Rim figure, which I can't wait to do that. So make sure you pre-order that figure because these guys are gonna go pretty quick, and I feel like the value of these Pacific Rim figures are gonna only get higher. So thank you, Calcus, for sending this over, and let's open this figure up. Clearly Venom wants to open it. You know, if you were to tell me last year sometime that I'd be making 3 different Pacific Rim videos in the beginning of 2025, I wouldn't believe you, and here I am. I'm gonna keep doing them as long as the figures are coming out, and I'm very excited. You know, and I'm even in the mood to watch this movie now. I haven't watched it probably since I saw it in theaters. I even owned the Steelbook for Pacific Uprising, but I don't think I've opened up the Blu-ray and put it into my Xbox to watch it once. So, you know what? I'm gonna do that. Yeah, we'll do that tonight. I probably should have done it before the video. I gotta say, I'm not as instantly blown away with this figure as I was when I first cracked open the Gypsy Danger or the Crimson Typhoon. And maybe that's just because the love I have for those other Jaeger designs not really present with this version. I don't love this version of Gypsy Avenger quite as much. I still do think he's kind of cool, and as I'm really looking at him right now, I'm thinking more like, man, the first movie really did, all of those Jaegers had such a more grounded realism type of design to them. Like, they look like they were made actually for people to operate. And these just kind of look like more of like an anime, I don't know, it's almost like too humanoid. Obviously they're all humanoid, but they look a little bit more just like a big person in a suit as opposed to a big operational mech. I'm also remembering the Bandai versions that I had of these guys, and I didn't mind those as much either, but this figure is definitely way cooler than any of those Bandai Pacific Rim Uprising figures that came out. It's pretty cool, and it's interesting, he came with the rocket already on his back, which I would have thought that would have just been like an extra accessory that you could add on later, but it was already on him, which is kind of interesting. That's probably just a way of saving space with packaging, stuff like that. So the one thing I'm noticing right off the bat with the figure that I'm not loving, everything looks great, but I'm not really loving the neck articulation. You can't like move his head down at all. Like, this is the furthest down it'll go. it can go up and to the side, but just like the way the kind of under neck stuff going on there, just like it's totally restrictive. So he can't look down at all, which kind of stinks. I mean, there's not a whole lot you can do with Gypsy Danger's neck either. To be honest, you can do more with him than you can with Gypsy Danger. Everything else looks good. It's got those same ratchet joints, like the clicky joints. Oh yeah. And I did not know they were called ratchet joints. Thank you everyone in the comments for, you would be surprised how much I learn from YouTube comments. But I do read them all and I learn a lot from them, so thank you. He looks pretty beautiful. All of the same beautiful paint work and detail and sculpt. It's all present here, just like with those other figures, and it looks amazing. Oh, and those clicky ratchet joints are just amazing. They're like, oh, I love that so much. Yes. Oh God, it looks so good. One thing that's definitely going to be better with this figure as opposed to the other ones is gonna be the articulation. And I say that because the design of Gypsy Avenger is much more lean and has a lot of gaps in areas that would really help make the articulation better. Like the waist and the hip area got a lot of gaps in it. You know, the waist is very thin. He's got a very thin waist and he's got some blue underoos. And so you really, like, you've got so much easy movement going on for that, like so much easy movement. And with the waist and the chest having that also separate, it's just like easy, twisty, turny, all of that stuff. And the arms they work very similar to the way Gypsy Danger's did, where they've got the ratchet joints on the like inside of the shoulders, more like the outside, and then more internally towards the chest, you've got the kind of butterfly looking joints that almost look like pistons or something. So you've got a whole lot of extra stuff to move around, and that's great. And the knees, you've got all that movement too. Like, that's a lot. That's a lot of movement for a big giant robot, you know? I'm fully prepared to be able to get some really great looking poses. Look, you can put them in a nice little ball if you want. I like that. So, as all amazing figures do and should, this one, ooh, cool, nice art. Anyway, it comes with destructions, and that's amazing. And so one thing I'm very interested in is the lights. This thing has lights. You can turn on the chest on Gypsy Avenger. So, as always, read your instructions, and these are in Chinese, but there's a QR code right here where it'll probably also be in Chinese. But, as a lot of comments have also taught me, oh, on you, buddy, that was a big one. Nice. As a lot of YouTube comments have taught me, you can just use Google Lens and it will translate the Chinese for you. So, I'm gonna try that. Okay, installation and replacement of rocket thrusters, battery installation, replacement. This is pretty cool. I would definitely recommend, you know, just using the Google Lens on the Google app, and that's pretty cool. So Venom, I love you, buddy. I really do, so much, but sometimes you make this really difficult. Anyway, the chest will pop off. It takes a little more effort than that, but I did pop it off already. And so this little thing here, you can just put the battery into this. And then, dude, the figure comes with batteries, which is amazing. Oh my goodness gracious. Okay, I gave Venom some food, maybe that'll do it. So we should just be able to put the battery right in here. It comes with batteries, and that is just so incredibly awesome, the fact that it comes with batteries. Pop it on in there, just like that. Pop it back in like this. Chest goes back on, and look who's back. Hello. And so the accessory right here should be the one to turn it on. Okay, let's change views here. Okay, and here we go. Yes! Nice, looks great. Looks really good. Really wish I could have his face light up though. That would make a big difference. The Gypsy Danger does, but this thing is like a little boop, boop. Very nice, awesome. Gypsy Avenger GA over here comes with some stuff. We already kind of covered the rocket jetpack. What I do really like about this thing is that it looks like a NASA space shuttle kind of thing, and it does add to the realism, you know, the hope of realism, and so that's cool, and this looks really great. This is definitely a really good looking accessory. Got this, which is actually a hand accessory. It's the same thing that turns on the light. but it's a hand accessory for at the end of the movie, right, when they kind of shoot up way into the sky to shoot down to destroy the mega kaiju, right? And that's pretty cool. I like how it is a hand itself, so it's not like difficult to put in the hand when you're flying up. So that's pretty cool. This is definitely another cool looking thing. We've got 4 different plasma hands. So we've got the fully opened ones over here, and then the not quite fully opened. I think that was the difference.
This is editing version of me, and I did actually go and watch the movie again, and I enjoyed it a lot more than I remembered. But anyway, one of these is actually the plasma cannon, and the other one is the little gravity grabber thing where he picks up cars and pulls buildings down with and stuff.
There's 4 different swords. So these ones here are kind of just like the normal gypsy swords. Great. And then there are these ones that look a lot like the Obsidian Fury swords that were kind of like chainsaws, which were really cool. And I don't remember Gypsy and you know, John Boyega and the heroes use these. But then again, like I said, I haven't watched it in a while, and now I probably should have.
And for these swords, they end up using them at the end of the movie versus the giant kaiju when they end up getting the extra tech help from the big corporation or whatever, so that's why.
We just got some extra hands. I did switch over to one of the open hands already, just for that one pose that I did. But I will say, switching the hands was actually really difficult. I had to warm up the hands to do it, which I usually don't. Extra hands, closed, open hands, that's great. Of course, we've got this accessory, which is very, very valuable. Just don't eat this. Just throw it away. And the last accessory are just entirely different wrists, which give you plenty of room to insert the blades. So that's pretty cool. I like that quite a bit. And they have plenty of like extra space there above, so you can fit it in there. That's actually kind of awesome. Whole entire wrists just for the swords. Super cool. I gotta say, the more I mess with this figure, the more I'm like, damn, this is a good looking figure. I mean, just like, look at that. That looks good. That looks really good. All right, well, how tall is Gypsy Avenger? How tall is she? Well, looking in camera, she's about 8 feet, or 8 inches or so. The figure is 8 inches or so. So that's pretty cool. The Gypsy of Danger was also around 8. Avenger's a little bit taller, not by a lot, but a little bit, so that's pretty cool. So speaking of gypsies, here they are next to each other, and you know what? They look pretty good next to each other. They definitely look like they are descendants of each other, or you know what I mean? Like, it looks like Gypsy Avenger is derived from Gypsy Danger, and I'm sure that was the whole point. I'm sure kind of like an upgrade, I'm sure was kind of the intention, which makes sense, and it makes sense. I can see that. Obviously, I'm talking about designs, not action figures. I think I like the paint on Avenger a little more. This Gypsy Danger is very shiny and blue. It's almost too blue. It's almost too cobalt looking. And I really noticed that when I was comparing it to the Gong Studio, and I love it very much, but I think I like this one. This one's like kind of the perfect combination of being shiny, but still a little bit less, I don't know, it's perfect. And so also comparing it to Crimson Typhoon, looking real nice. Man, I cannot wait for them to have every single Jaeger. Oh my gosh, they're gonna all look so good together. Look at these guys, they look incredible. These look amazing. And so if we're gonna compare it to the NECA as well, it's just as big of a difference really as comparing to when I compared it to this one. And you know, I'm not hating on the NECA, I'm really not. But still, either way, it's definitely a big improvement from the NECA, but still, we appreciate you, NECA, we really do. I mean, I do. So here is Gypsy Avenger compared to Godzilla. And so this is the Godzilla versus Kong Godzilla. And the reason why I got this one for the video is because this one's a little bigger than the 2018 one or 2014 one. And you know, I feel like it would match a little bit more because Godzilla, unfortunately these Hiya Toys Godzilla ones are still scaling a little smaller compared to Ling Jihun Pacific Rim, which is a little unfortunate. I would have loved for them to scale perfectly, but hey, you know what? We'll take what we can get. We're eating good with the amount of Pacific Rim and Godzilla stuff we're getting. So who am I to complain? Who am I? All right, what are we giving this beautiful thing? W or L? Whirl? I think it's an easy W. I'm not quite as excited as I was when I did that other video with the other two. And I think that's simply because of my bias. It's gotta be. I have a huge love for the first Pacific Rim, and I don't have that necessarily for the second one. And that's probably why I'm a little less excited. I also would have loved for the eyes to light up like the other Gypsy Danger Ling Jihun did. And that's about it. Everything else is like great. This is awesome. This is an easy W for me, for sure. I would love to know what you think. Are you thinking W or L? And don't just give me a rating based off of how much you like or dislike this movie. Give me a real, objective W or L. And if it's an L, all right, I'll take it. Whatever it is, I would love to know, W or L. Or M. Is it an M? Is it mid? Is it a J? Is it a D? What about an F? Or maybe a Q. R? All right, let's do some toy photography. It's a shooting and reviewing video, right? Yes, it is. So we have to do some toy photography. I've been doing a lot of kaiju stuff lately, but what's really great is the snow is gone for now here in New York. So I think I'm gonna go to Peebles Island and maybe bring some trees with me, make Gypsy Avenger look big with those trees, and make something good happen. Hopefully I can catch some good sunlight. I don't know, but I'm pretty excited either way. Okay, here I am. It's very windy. Hopefully my microphone is holding up right now. But I'm at my favorite spot, Peebles Island in Cohoes, New York. And I was just here, like very recently, but this whole place was covered in snow, and I took a Godzilla pic. And now I'm here again, and we've got another Godzilla pic, but it's a Pacific Rim crossover. It's the second one I've done. This one's a little more serious, but I'm pretty excited about it. Let me show you what I got. We've got Gypsy Avenger versus Godzilla with this absolutely stunning background. Honestly, you're not really gonna see much of that background, but that lighting in the background is really what's gonna make it. And I've got all these little trees down here. Look at all of them. They look amazing. This guy fell over, but that's all right. Man, I'm very happy with this. This is my favorite kind of shot. I say that all the time. It's one of my favorite kinds of shots. End of the day lighting, shooting here at Peebles Island, it's amazing. And so the way I'm making these figures look big, they're giants, they're kaijus and Jaegers. So I have nothing taller than them in the background, just sky and water. There's that tree right there, but we don't care about that. And there is a plane way over there. Anyway, that's what's gonna make them look big. There's nothing but depth and sky in the background. Nothing bigger than them, because they're the biggest thing. And I've got some small things around them to make them look even bigger. And so the angle I have here in camera, if you can see it, is also making them look quite big. And I'm pretty happy with it right now. And that lighting really looks good. So the way I'm gonna make the lighting look even gooder is this light reflector. As always, if I take my light reflector and bounce it, so like that, all that light gets bounced back on top of them, and that's what I need. So this thing right here, hugely amazing. I've got this linked in the description along with everything I use. My camera, it's all there. If you ever need any supplies, it's all linked in the description. So what I'm gonna do is hold this like this, and then also kick up a little bit of dirt to get some debris, kind of like that King Ghidorah shot I did last year. And that's really gonna be it. It's actually a pretty simple shot with, as long as I got the right lighting and all that, it's a pretty simple shot. So if you can tell, my camera settings are at 2,000 for my shutter speed, which is very fast. Well, one, I need it to be fast because I'm gonna be kicking around some stuff. So faster the particles, things are moving in my photo, the faster the shutter speed needs to be. It's also very bright. It's very bright, so the faster the shutter speed, the darker it makes your shot. So it's kind of perfect for what I've got going on right now. And my f-stop's at 2.5. I usually leave it at 2.5 with this lens. It's the lowest it goes. I like the very blurry background, so 2.5 works pretty well. And my ISO is at 400. It's always at 400. It's like the first beautiful day of the year, so it's a very busy time here at Peebles Island. And I love doing toy photography in public like this because people stop me and they're looking at me and wondering what the heck I'm doing. And you never know, it could turn into a really great experience. It's always positive. So if you're ever out here and you're wondering, oh, I don't want to because people are gonna look at me, just do it. People are really genuinely curious. And you know, you could give them a business card and you could get a new fan, who knows? Anyway, I'm gonna go and actually take this photo, and hopefully it comes out good. I'll do my post-editing breakdown, but I think it's gonna be a pretty simple edit anyway. So yeah, here we go. Okay, so quick little post-photo breakdown, and I'm excited about this one. So here's the final product. I probably like this photo a lot more than a whole bunch of my more recent photos. So very, very happy with it. And so the before and after is, you can pretty much tell a big difference, right? But at the same time, it's not super different. Like, I didn't do any crazy augmentation to the photo. It's pretty much just like I edited, you know? Got rid of the wires, got rid of this stuff, got rid of the tree. But I spent most of the time making sure that Godzilla and Gypsy Avenger were still really visible and still looked nice and crisp, despite that huge amount of light coming into the camera. So Godzilla has this beautiful silhouette, you know, that's so iconic, and so him just peeking right in front of the sun was perfect. And I got rid of some of the big debris because that just makes them feel small, so I got rid of a little bit of that. I added some lights on Gypsy Avenger. All I did was just use the dodge tool to highlight his chest, and that's really all I did. What's really funny is right after I was recording myself saying, I love shooting in public, people come up to me. I unplugged my microphone, and these two guys came up to me immediately after, and I wish I had my mic still on, but it was so nice. They just kind of came over and were like, who is that, a Transformer fighting Godzilla? Like, what's going on? Like, they were so into it. It's like, no, it's from Pacific Rim. Like, oh, cool. And so as they were walking away, I could hear them talking to each other. Of course, it's from Pacific Rim. That makes way more sense than a Transformer. It was a nice interaction. Either way, yeah, here's the final product. So whether or not you love the second Pacific Rim movie or you hate it, this figure's amazing, and Gypsy Avenger's pretty dang cool, and honestly, it made me appreciate that movie a little more. So I would recommend giving that movie another watch. You might enjoy it more than you think. Either way, thank you so much for watching and getting this far into the video. If you did enjoy it, please consider liking the video and subscribing to the channel. I've got a whole lot more coming, Pacific Rim-wise, Godzilla-wise, everything, including Shimo. Shimo's coming very soon. This photo will be posted up onto Instagram and TikTok and Twitter. If you want to follow my work on any of those platforms, it's all linked in the video description. But thank you so much for watching. Thanks for getting this far, and I hope I can see you in the next video.